out to the right, breaks a tackle. They blitz it. Prescott throws it down the right side for Lamb. Caught it! Back to throw, rush, sacked by Parsons.
Belt-tie snap. Prescott with plenty of time. Lobs it end zone. Jake Ferguson.
Oh, what a weekend it has been here at the Star in Frisco. And welcome to the Blitz inside the Globe Life studios here. Bill Jones along with Nicole Hutchison. And we are breaking down what's happened the last 3 days over the course of the next half hour. And I just got to say this off the top. There seemed to be such a real energy in this building throughout the last 3 days. And you could really see it on that draft room camera whenever the picks were made and even leading up to the picks. This coaching staff led by Brian Schottenheimer really engaged in the process along with the scouts.
And Bill, it starts honestly from the work that they put in at the start of this process, from hiring the new coaching staff, from establishing a plan, a real plan of what type of players they wanted to bring in, the type of culture that they wanted to establish here in Dallas. So it started there, and then it just kind of felt genuine in the war room specifically. You saw Jerry Jones in there dancing, never seen him dance before. You saw the high fives. I love the energy. It did seem very genuine.
Truly a 3-month process when you think about it. Brian Schottenheimer was hired on January 24th. The draft started on April 24th. And here is what it produced over the last 3 months. As you know, Tyler Booker, the first-round draft pick, more on him in just a second. Then on day number 2, Donovan Ezeraku and Savone Ravel in the 3rd round of the draft, and then 6 more on day 3 on Saturday. What caught you about this draft class?
Honestly, this entire class, I mean, all of those guys that you see on that full screen right there, they've all had the production. They're guys that Brian Schottenheimer had said that they are going to play through the whistle. They're going to be relentless all 4 quarters. And just talking about the fact that, they also have the character. Good players, but also have the character. That's something that they've preached about, and you love to see it.
And how about Tyler Booker, the big offensive guard from Alabama, and, of course, the Cowboys with a big need at right guard with Zach Martin retiring, and he seems like this is the perfect fit.
Yeah, and I actually asked him about that when I got a chance to ride with him on the bus, and said, you have some big shoes to fill from Zach Martin, but he said, I just got to go in there and be me. I'm not going to try to do anything else because Zach Martin is in a league of his own, but this is a guy who knows himself. He's very powerful in terms of getting defenders backwards. He's, 321? That's what he weighed in as, but he also did touch on the fact that he knows that he's not there yet, NFL ready. He's got a lot of work to do technique-wise. He said that his footwork sometimes is out of whack. He's not as consistent as he wants to be. He just needs to be a little bit more precise at the NFL level, something that he's looking forward to improve on.
Yes, and you talk about energy. Well, he not only packs a punch on the football field, but he packs a lot of energy, and you're going to discover that in just a moment here on The Blitz. We're just getting started on this edition of The Blitz. Coming up later, we take a look at the 2nd and 3rd round draft picks up close and personal as Araku from Boston College. But up next, a day in the life of a first-round draft pick, Tyler Booker.
The Dallas Cowboys Blitz, presented by Blockchain.com, is brought to you by AT&T, an official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. This segment is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Blitz continues now as we break down this 2025 Dallas Cowboys draft class. Bill Jones along with Nicole Hutchison. Of course, it all started back on Thursday night. The Cowboys with the number 12 overall pick, and Tyler Booker, the offensive guard from Alabama, now a Cowboy.
And I've been joking about it all week long, is the fact that he's a 21-year-old with a 50-year-old in his body. His aura's impressive. The way he speaks and carries himself is very impressive as well. Of course, you look at the film and his play obviously backs up everything that he's been talking about. But I got a chance to go one-on-one with him in Jerry's bus and got to dive a little deeper into what to expect here in Dallas from him. I'm trying.
I was 9 years old. I was dreaming of being a professional football player, and for me to be here now is truly a blessing, a dream come true. My journey has definitely been eventful. Born and raised in New Haven, Connecticut. I went to middle school in New Canaan, Connecticut, which is about an hour away. Then I went to Bergen Catholic, which was in New Jersey. So I used to live with a family. Shout out the Woods family. I used to live with the Woods family throughout the week and go home on the weekends. Then I went to IMG Academy for high school. Then I went to Alabama, and now I'm home in Dallas. So I've always been willing to do whatever it takes to get to where I am now.
Talk about basically just wearing the life out of an opponent's eyes. Have you always had that demeanor?
Every day before school, I'm waking up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock just so I could watch a football life. And one of the first ones was Deacon Jones, and he was known for his head slap. So I was doing the head slap against, doing the head slap in Pee Wee football, and it was working. And they had to tell me to calm down. And I was like, why do I have to calm down? Like, they can't stop it. Why do I have to stop?
I think that's kind of nuts, but you gotta love that with an offensive lineman. But looking around the NFC East, you have a lot of defensive tackles that you're going up against. Jalen Carter, Dexter Lawrence. How do you feel like you can kind of carry over that violence, and do you feel like you can do that at the next level?
I definitely feel like I could do that at the next level, but I know that like my technique has to clean up a lot more. You know, there's some things that I got away with in college that I won't be able to get away with in the league just because I was just bigger, stronger, and faster than the guys I was going against. Now, everybody's big, everybody's strong, everybody's fast in the NFL. So now I just have to get better with my technique, and that's gonna happen over OTAs and training camp. And I'm very excited, but like the mindset remains the same. I take a lot of pride in my run blocking. The run game, I'm putting my fist in your face, and we're gonna see who's tougher at the end of the day. At the end of the day, like Lord willing, I play a long time, get multiple All-Pros, did multiple Super Bowls. Like I want a gold jacket. Like that's my why.
How about them Cowboys? That ain't gonna stop.
The only thing I have to prove, the only people I have to prove things to are my teammates and everybody within the building, and then myself at the end of the day. Like the Dallas Cowboys picked me, and I'm gonna make good on that. I'm gonna make good on that pick.
And a fun thing to note about him is that he also comes from a family of football. His uncle won a Super Bowl with the Steelers. Thought that was actually pretty cool as well. His dad also, by the way, when he was born, put a football in his crib in the hospital, so he knew that he wanted him to play football.
And he knew at age 5 that was his goal. He's going to play in the NFL, and now he has realized his goal as a first-round draft pick of the Dallas Cowboys. All right, we continue on the Blitz in just a moment. We'll take a look at day 2 with Kyle Youmans and that guy out of East Carolina, the cornerback Simone Ravel.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Reliant, the official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, now it's time to dive into day number 2 of this draft as Kyle Youmans joins us here on the Blitz. And Kyle probably barely has a voice right now because he's been hosting Cowboys draft coverage on DallasCowboys.com the last few days. But here you go, Donovan Ezaraku from Boston College.
I've gotten to say the name a couple times already. Donovan Ezaraku, second-round pick, and then you go with Savone Ravel Jr. out of East Carolina for the third-round pick. Both of these guys are big-time players, and both were very high on the Cowboys board throughout the weekend. Let's start with the second-round pick at pick number 44, Donovan Ezaraku. I really love this player. This is somebody who was a late riser among draft boards, somebody that the Cowboys had a second-round grade on. They thought he wouldn't be there at 44. We talked to defensive line coach Aaron Whitecotton on our coverage this weekend. He said he is over the moon with the fact that they have an edge rusher like this to pair with Micah Parsons. You see the power, you see the speed, the bend off the edge. He's one of the top edge rushers in this draft class, and you can see it against top-notch competition across the board. He has a high motor, high character guy. That's going to be a theme throughout this draft weekend for Brian Schottenheimer in his first draft. Here he is making an impact.
And really, just like like Tyler Booker, the first-round pick. The Cowboys are as excited about him as a person as they are as a player.
Yeah, and that continues even to the third-round pick in Savon Ravel Jr., the corner out of East Carolina. If it wasn't for an ACL injury that he suffered in September, Savon might have been one of the top corners in this NFL draft. Teams had him as a first-round grade early in the draft process. He got set back because of the injury. Ball skills, tracking ability, size, speed. He's got all of those traits that put together the film. The one question was the health, and he does have a clean bill of health from Cowboys orthopedic surgeon in Dr. Cooper, who has an opportunity and had the opportunity to have the operation on his leg after the injury. So with all of that being said, they felt like 76 was a clean spot to take him. The risk is a little bit further back. You still have Ezeraku to fall back on as a healthy, clean bill of health at that 44 spot, but they're confident that Ravel can be an impact player here in 2025.
You know, I think also the interesting thing is, as much talk as there was about running backs and wide receivers in this draft, Cowboys were true to their board. They also have needs, obviously, on the defensive line and especially at cornerback, and they were able to take the best player that they had on their board at that point.
That was what these two picks showed us, is they decided the need didn't necessarily outweigh the talent. They went with Ezeraku, who was probably not an edge rusher need that was above corner, above wide receiver 2, above some of these other spots like running back that could have been taken at 44. They go with Ezeraku. They take the best football player, best character player available. Same thing with Savon Ravel Jr. Now, Savon, he's one of those guys that ultimately does fill a need at cornerback. You need depth at corner. We saw the revolving door because of the injuries at that position last year. He fills the need. He had the value. Both guys are going to be impact players here.
All right, so on day 2, on Friday in this draft, the Cowboys doubled down on defense. Where were they going to find the running back in this draft? We'll talk about day 3 when we come back in just a moment here on The Blitz.
This segment was brought to you by Reliant, the official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to The Blitz here inside the Globe Life studios at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones rejoined now by Kyle Youmans. We've looked at day 2. We looked at day 1. How about we look at day 3? What happened on Saturday here at the Star in the NFL draft? And Kyle, you got offense, defense, offense, defense, offense, defense.
It's almost like they planned it out that way and got both sides taken care of. I like some of these picks. You go with some of the needs. Of course, running back, you double dip with Jaden Blue and Phil Maffa. At defensive tackle, you need bodies. You go Jay Toia, and you've got Tommy Aking-Basote at the final pick in the 7th round. For the most part, these are guys that are going to fill some spots of need, and then maybe you have some other additions throughout this NFL offseason. Let's start with Jaden Blue, running back out of Texas. He has probably the best chance to be a starter out of this group because of the need that you have at the running back position. He has speed. The one question mark is ball security. Can he hold on to the football? Had some fumbles at key moments throughout his couple years at Texas. He had 1 year as really the main guy. He ended up with 790 yards. It led the team with 8 rushing touchdowns as well. He is a powerful back when it comes to running through arm tackles and the speed and the burst to get to the second level. I like Blue a lot. Some things to clean up. He's probably going to combine with the Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders 1-2 punch in that running back room to see exactly where you have him. Moving on to defensive tackle, let's go to Johnny Cornelius first. Offensive tackle, they may move him to guard, big body guy on the edge. They actually submitted him as a guard in this draft, so maybe a chance to see him show some position flex. We've seen how the Cowboys have valued that in the past. He played all of his 14 games with the Oregon Ducks at the right tackle spot. Remember, Oregon has some guys on this coaching staff from their season a year ago. They even added in the undrafted free agents, which we'll talk about later as well. Now we move on to Jay Toia, somebody that they met with at the Combine, had a formal with him. Talk about big body. How about 6'2", 335 pounds in the middle of that defense, and another UCLA defensive tackle to pair with Osa Odigizua. He said he didn't have a personal connection with Osa, but they do have that UCLA connection as well. He's the best one technique that they had on the board in day 3. So the fact that they got him in the later parts of this draft in the 7th round, they feel really happy about the power that he could bring to the table. He showed it out as an honorable mention All Big Ten honoree this past year in his 1 year in the Big Ten after having some Pac-12 success with UCLA.
Yeah, I think he has a real chance. Of course, the last couple of years ago, the veteran Jonathan Hankins was working with Mozzie Smith in a rotation. Linville Joseph last year. Now you get a young guy, a rookie, 7th round draft pick here out of UCLA who you can pair with Mozzie Smith too.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Mozzie Smith still has people in the building that believe in him. Aaron Whitecotton talked about how he would like to pair a young defensive tackle with Mozzie Smith, build that competition. Brian Schottenheimer's always talked about it as well. You want competition to bring that out, the best out in each other. So having a guy like Toia who is a motor guy, that's what you see on the film. That's the way that he has taken care of business throughout his time with the UCLA Bruins. I'm excited to see how he pushes some of these guys because he is a bigger body than what they have on the defensive line, and it could pair with Mozzie Smith, maybe even allow for some position flex. You bump Mozzie out to the 3 technique. He's about 20 pounds lighter than Toia. You can play around with that front 7 matchup.
Kyle, how about you get some rest now?
That sounds good to me.
It's been a busy few days for Kyle and so many behind the scenes here at the Star in Frisco. We wrap up the Blitz in just a moment. We've got something for you fair weather fans out there with the college free agent signings.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today. To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. The Dallas Cowboys Blitz, presented by Blockchain.com, was brought to you by AT&T, an official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
Hello?
Mr. Booker?
Yes, sir.
Got somebody who wants to talk to you. Hold on.
Who is it?
Hey, this is Jerry Jones with the Cowboys. We're turning you in.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, boy. We're glad to have you as a Cowboy.
I'm glad to be a Cowboy. I'm glad to keep this O-line tradition. Thank you.
Okay, well, man, listen, but here's your
Will
coach.
do.
Here's your head coach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tyler, Coach Shoddy, man.
What's going on, Coach?
Hey, man. Hey, listen, you blew us away in the process, brother. Here's what we need. You just come here, be you. You kick ass. Welcome to the family. We are so excited. We just want that same dude every day.
Yes, sir. You're going to get as long as we can listen to that Whitney Houston you was listening to that day.
Yeah, hey, ain't no doubt about that, man. Hey, I want you to talk to our offensive coordinator.
Yes, sir.
So fired up. You're a Cowboy, baby.
Yes, sir.
Book, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
I am so freaking fired up that you're coming, man. How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys?
Let's go. Let's move the freaking line of scrimmage now, huh?
Let's do it.
I'm an old offensive lineman, believe it or not.
I believe it. I believe it.
They always are the best looking. They're the smartest, and they own the damn team. So that's an offensive
Oh, definitely.
lineman.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I can't wait to get there and get to work.
All right, sir.
I just love that secret audio. And the phone calls continued after the draft was done. Here's a list of Cowboys undrafted free agent signees. And on this list, a couple of tight ends, including Rivaldo Fairweather from Auburn and some others that catch your eye, right, Nicole?
Absolutely. Well, let's just talk about the fact that they got a receiver, okay? Finally got a wide receiver. That'll kind of bring some more competition in that receiver room. Obviously, Trayshawn had 45 catches, 718 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's a bigger guy than Tolbert, 6'2", 205. But someone else that really stands out to me is Zion Childress. Got a chance to cover him at Kentucky, Bill, and man, he has improved so much. They talk about the type of DB that they want in this room. They want someone that's willingness to tackle, someone that's physical, and also likes to play the run. He likes to do all those things. You talk about 55 tackles, a sack, a forced fumble, 2 passes defended, defended in 2024. So a lot of production there from him, and the sky's the limit for him for sure.
And the first guy you mentioned, Trayshawn Holden from Oregon, who is coached by Junior Adams, the Cowboys' new receivers coach. And so there's some product knowledge there, and there are spots to be won on this roster. Rookie camp coming up here in a couple of weeks, and it's over. Draft weekend is over.
It is.
Yes.
It came and went. Bill.
It did, in a flash. And the Cowboys have a whole bunch of new players. For Kyle Youmans and Nicole Hutchison, I am Bill Jones. We appreciate you joining us here for the Blitz, and we will see you again next week from the Star in Frisco.